So this is Maria. She works in a warehouse. There's 4.4 million people like her in the United States, and there's 100,000 different warehousing facilities for distribution centers. This is a Raven forklift. This is the data that we pull off their chipset that tells us how that forklift is performing in that operation. This is an RF scan gun. This is the data that comes into the warehouse management software that tells you what the employee is doing. This is a time clock. This is how we log the employee in and out of the operation daily for their work, and also track some of their off-standard work. So what do we get from this? This tells us what Maria did. Performance that day was 122%. She had a perfect pick quality. Utilization was 98%. She earned a bonus. Her missing time was 15 minutes, and her cost per case for the work that she did was 61 cents. Gives us a great dashboard for performance. This is Bob. That's Maria's supervisor. He sees that his facility performed at 102% with a 99.7% pick quality. His top performer was Maria. His bottom performer was Jim. He now knows who to talk to, who's not performing, and also who to congratulate who is performing. This is Pat. He's the general manager. He can now see real time every day what his daily profit is in that operation, so he can react to problems that do occur. He can see what his cost is by process, by employee, by customer. So here's some actual customer results. AT&T's Reverse Logistics Center down in Texas. They used one of our competitors' products. 2-year implementation, $2 million spent, and it failed. It was Red Prairie. We got them up and running in 90 days as a proof of concept on 150 employees. We saved them $250,000 in the first 3 months of using our software. We're now in process of rolling out across 2,000 employees in that operation. Did the same thing with Xerox after a full implementation of one of their distribution centers. We saved them $600,000 the first year and an additional $1 million the second year. So how do we do it? It's very simple in concept. We take the employee's time and we merge it with all the employee activity that's being tracked in the operation. There's an explosion of activity tracking systems from RFID, RF scan, mobile proximity data with cell phones and so forth. So we're able to take all of that, push that through the EasyMetrics technology, and give 3 levels of value to our customer. Some customers go through all 3 levels, some will just take certain levels that they need for their operation. So on the highest level, we call this visibility. This is the activity-based costing, built from a granular level up. So it's not a macro activity costing based on GAAP, it's basically transactional costing model. So they get what their cost is by performance, by process, by customer, by employee. Level down is we call accountability. We're able to take all the different metrics that are around the process the employee is doing and come up with a performance standard. You can no longer look at things in just units per hour. There's too many variances in workflow. So you have to come up with a scoring mechanism that gives a fair and objective standard for the employee to perform. This way the supervisors can see who's performing, who's not performing. Then if you merge the cost accounting with the accountability, you can get a pay-for-performance program that is paid for out of the reduced production costs of those employees. So it's a feedback loop. So the end result is our average customer gets a 40% gain in productivity and net savings on labor of 15%. Currently, we're in distribution and manufacturing, but our total addressable market domestically is about $12 billion. Any work process that is transactional and can be quantified, which is roughly about 80% of work done out there, can be applied with our model. We have a land and expand strategy. We're right now targeting multiple facility distribution centers. These are our current customers and the number of facilities they have, and what we see is our upsell pipeline. So we have a current upsell pipeline of $16 million ACV. So our go-to-market strategy right now is we are targeting the third-party logistics market. That's the FedExes, the UPSs, because what we get into want to do a proof of concept and we can expand to their whole enterprise. As well, we're doing a very aggressive content marketing strategy, which is bringing us hand raisers from other industries to our solution. Another exciting opportunity for us is we have a strategic partnership with Raymond, which is the electric forklift division of Toyota Motor Company. They have 1,000 salespeople out there in the market, and they are being trained on selling our software because we're able to use the data set off the forklifts. As well, we can partner with strategic consulting firms. Financials, we are growing consistently about 150% a year. We're also expanding our services division, professional service division, to drive more value to our customers. Our churn is very low. We run about 6 to 7% on an annual contract value churn. So it works out to be about 0.4% a month. So we have a very high stickiness factor once we deal with the clients. Competitive technology, we have an integration layer called LogicWriter that allows us to compress the onboarding cycle down to 1 week. Again, our enterprise competition is a minimum of a 6-month, upwards of a 2-year onboarding cycle. With our model, we use a loosely coupled architecture. We're able to integrate multiple disparate data sources into our system and do a very rapid deployment of the model. We also do a big data approach on the development of the performance standards. Traditional models use engineered labor standards. You bring in a group of engineers, industrial engineers, who are doing time and motion studies. Big data now allows us to analyze hundreds of millions of transactions and actually do a regression model on that data. We can do that with a click of a button versus spending $100,000 or $200,000 in engineering for the process. We also offer a cost-to-serve analytics, and none of our competition does. Our competition focuses on performance standards. We do that, but we also can show them what that cost of transaction is across the entire enterprise. Because of our loosely coupled architecture and our big data approach, we also have the ability to apply this technology to multiple verticals. So we believe we have a very broad-based vertical approach we can take. Value drivers, we run 30 to 100,000 per facility, fast onboarding, very low churn rate, and we have a very efficient sales efficiency. We're looking to raise $8 million later this year to do our Series B in the fourth quarter, early first quarter. This is just an introduction to make you aware of us and hopefully start a discussion. Thank you very much.
Next we have P3 Global Management.
Good morning, everyone. There's going to be two things that are different about the presentation today. One is you get the two of us, and the other one is we're not going to talk about a specific product or technology. We're going to talk to you about is the highway for innovation for cities. My name is Carlos Pujol. Can we get the presentation going? Yeah. So my name is Carlos Pujol. I'm the CEO of P3GM, an independent global smart city infrastructure development advisory firm. Before I continue, and I'd like to say that we're in the public-private partnership space in a highway for innovation. I was responsible for a $1 billion contract with the City of New York. Let me hand you to my partner and co-founder, Sergio.
So the goal of the business, P3GM, is really structured around public-private partnerships. And what we saw in our previous backgrounds in the out-of-home space, which is really we were all over the sidewalks and managing all these different opportunities, was the ability of actually, instead of building the fastest vehicle and the vehicle that everyone else is talking about, is build a platform and become a partner to municipalities in helping them manage what is their infrastructure assets to help develop. And a lot of you have already seen in the news that Google just went out and put out Sidewalk Labs, and one of their acquisitions is the Link platform. This is something that we've been working on for a couple of years, is building this platform, not again to go after the vehicle, which is what Google's doing, but really the platform, which is the municipalities, which is really where the value is. Because municipalities are afraid to engage the vehicle because they're not sure. Well, let me just play you a video. They're not sure if it's going to survive for the next couple of years.
P3GM explains its strategic vision. This is Sam and his daughter. It's Sunday, and they're taking a stroll through their city. They notice that it's a bit congested, and that a lot of the public structures are in disrepair. Residents like where they live, but companies won't invest in a mid-20th century town. The problems are mounting and cannot be put off. Other cities are moving faster on implementing technology, which appears to be leading to new economic development and vibrancy. Since Sam's the mayor of the city, he decides to do something to bring the city to the 21st century. But who can help him manage this project? Sam needs a team of professional urban developers who not only know what to do, but also how to finance it. He hears about P3GM, a company that develops long-term partnerships with municipalities and provides investment capital, multiple financing options, and management expertise for modernizing cities. Susan, the P3GM representative, meets with Sam and explains how they can help transform his city to 21st century standards. P3GM has a unique and transparent public-private partnership model. They do not privatize assets and grab all the rewards. Instead, they work closely with the municipalities and share in the ongoing revenue or cost savings generated from the improvements. Sam now sees how this partnership will be a huge win for the city and its residents, and decides to partner up with P3GM. P3GM, Enhanced cities, continuous innovation.
So here, just kind of put together a couple of milestones. In building this business, a lot of what was important was A, building a brand, leveraging background and experience of doing business with government for over 15 years, and really starting to build the model. As you see, we had our first contract 2013. We've had a lot of different U.S. Conference of Mayors, Clinton Global Initiative, all these different plays that have helped us to continue to build the model, which is in the municipal level. Carlos Puyol, we brought him in as the CEO because of his experience in building out the bus shelter contract, and I'll let him kind of jump in a little bit.
Yeah, so I've known this company almost since inception. I had a relationship with them since the beginning, almost being an advisor. We're right now at 3 contracts. We grow aggressively to 10 contracts and possibly 30 next year. So, as I said at the beginning, we're a gateway for technologies that call on us every day to propose solutions that we can integrate into our PPP projects. We're active in a number of countries. The targets are cities, theme parks, media space, universities, REITs, public agencies in general. And our verticals affect really mobility, media, energy, telecom, security. You see some of our assets already on the streets right now tied to a 20-year contract. Also adding that P3GM is really being at the crossroads, creating the crossroads between cities, brands, and smart infrastructure under the framework of a PPP.
So what we have is really the opportunity in our product is really the contract, right? Because what happens is a lot of these innovations that you see out there, everyone's trying to figure out how they get to scale. Well, in order to get to scale, you need access to that real estate. When we look at where the smart cities is going, what's missing is really that gateway to how do you actually do business with government. And everyone, yesterday we sat through somebody telling us that, you know, that is a long game. It is a long game. That's what we've been building this business for 4 years. Now we're out to market. A lot of it was really building a brand and sort of engaging the municipalities and going to these U.S. Conference of Mayors and global mayors conferences to educate them on there is a player that can help them access all that innovation. This is just a sample of our SPV structure, municipal entity, special purpose vehicle. In essence, we act as a GP, we bring in the LPs, we set up the structured vehicle, and a lot of what we're, again, here is we're looking at raising capital as it relates to, you know, the operating company, not the specific projects.
So what you have on the screen is our business model, where the revenues come from, typically from the dividends we have, the equity in the projects, the management fees, and advisory fees. Next slide. So we're just also showing you a picture of what our projections look like in terms of revenue and scaling opportunities. Excited about the prospects. This is based on current contracts and also on what's in the pipeline, the current scaling opportunities with our partners. Our ask today is we're trying to raise $5 million to bolster our growth, increase project manager, operations, development staff, and our international development to take opportunities of the advantage of the opportunities we have right now at hand.
And again, a lot of what we've been doing over the last couple of years is really building a brand, surrounding ourselves with the right partners, everyone from Cisco, Oracle, to the right players that are looking at the smart city, smart infrastructure, but really packaging what is the real estate. So a lot of what we're looking at is when we're talking about our Series A, is really more for the operational company.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes round 2, and lunch will be served outside. There's a keynote session at 1:20, and round 3 for Clean Tech starts at 2 p.m. here. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You guys can bring your lunch back in here if you'd like. And we're taking it to rooms 1, 2, and 3.
Also, just again, judges, please keep your judge sheets until the end of round 3. Thank you.
So I know that very well. I also know how the talent and how you create. So it's creating.
your data, but then you turn that into an arrow. Capability. I mean, that's a game-changing capability. As you know, you probably know better than I do. Exactly. And with the move towards big data, everything is all about analytics. Of course, it's good to be able to capture the data and analyze it, but it can be able to in a timely fashion and change it as the data changes. That's a big imperative in the ability to disseminate and to have meaning on that as it changes. And by the way, the reason I'm here is I went from working for these companies like Iberian. I was at Iberian for 9 years. I was the VP of sales so now I do search, executive search. I'm actually doing a very similar search for IBM. Which is Cognos and SPSS and others. I think they'd be interested in regarding So the we see people who try to kind of do a little very minor version of this whole XBRL, creating unstructured data from some of the information that's in structured data. This seems so much more advanced. Right. Right. That's what the XBRL. This even does that sort of interpretation. Because you're tying together all the different pieces. Okay. Wow. Working on this, really?
I was trying to look at the Dan Penman. Here you are. You can probably take that down. Looking to be a customer?
Actually, no, I think so that's what you said that you're one in your Okay. Okay. And you're personally based in New York? Dallas.
Yeah, I'd say email fast. Who knows if you ran it around?
Yeah, your is expensive. Very, very interesting technology. You may not need this a year from now. Nice meeting you.
Frosty, that's just.
Well, I'm Tyrolean, more of a barbarian than Indian people. So we just in a somewhat similar space, so that's why I found you. I'm not, no. I'm just starting last year, and so we commercialized the nuclear and coming out of the 19. So Professor Metrics just a lot like work at the individual level. So I didn't look at individuals' stimuli and behavior and try to figure out what drives the behavior. And so we have applications in retail and we have applications in the front. I'm just so what we found is and then have to follow support positions for each message. Someone's got to be which channel pitch it up the food chain. And so we don't really want to get into this around this system. Why are we talking about safety or efficacy? Yeah, I saw your presentation. I thought, okay, I got to look at it. So maybe there is actually, yes. I'm also here at Boston.
Got it. What?
So, a couple changes for
Yeah.
next. Yeah, you can walk around broadcasting if you like, but this is going straight to the internet. The internet, yeah, hi internet. Okay. So the keynote with Yuri is going to start at 1:20. I'm going to try to broadcast that. Got to figure out how to get this framing in. Yeah, it's going to be here. It's going to be over to everything. For the next company session at 2, I'm going to give you a different partner. It's going to be a little more reliable. It's not coming in and out or getting yanked around. You're clearly on top of it, but you could use it. So yeah, I'm not sure why we would walk around with this just yet, but I'm going to see if I can get some positioning as far as like standing it up where we need it, where it would be useful. So it's hard to see people. You can't really see the slides, and you're a little far away from any sound. I mean, in theory, I could get it closer to one of the speakers. So I'm gonna try to set it up on one of these chairs. Let's see what happens. So yeah, let me talk to Joe about that. Pardon me.